Good afternoon. Welcome to the National Association of Black Women in Construction's monthly $1 billion luncheon. This month, we're focusing on facilities contracting opportunities. My name is Kendi Ward. I am COO at MCO Construction and Services, Inc. And when I'm not doing that, I am a self-published author and also a minister at a local church here in South Florida. So for those of you who've been with us before for $1 billion luncheon, welcome back. Those who are here for the first time, we're glad to have you. You're in for an amazing agenda today. So thank you for joining us. I'm going to go over our house rules. Yes, we have some rules that we need you to abide by this morning so that we can have a great program. So I'm going to go over the house rules that you can share that on the screen so I can read it. I can't see the house rules, so there we go. So here are our Zoom housekeeping rules. Please place your cell phones on vibrate or airplane mode, or do not disturb during the luncheon. Place yourself on mute upon entering the meeting. Unmute when necessary. It won't be necessary. Be sure your full name appears on the screen. No aliases, no nicknames, and that is for attendance purposes. If you are a NABWIC member, please put NABWIC before or after your name. Participate in the roll call. That'll be in our breakout session. Ensure your background is clean and neat, and switch to a virtual background. If you're speaking, please look into the web camera. I'm trying to do that and look at the screen and read the screen at the same time. Eliminate any distractions, pets, kids, television, your phone, social media. Be aware of your audio and video settings and focus on the agenda. I think there's one more that I can't see. And feel free to place any questions or concerns in the chat. So those are our rules for today. I'm sure that you all will abide by those rules. We're going to start our agenda as we start all of our agendas with a quick invocation, so you can join me in prayer. Father, we come before you today on this wonderful Wednesday, giving you praise and honor and thanks, Lord God, for the National Association of Black Women in Construction, for all of the women who are blazing trails in their various industries, Lord God. We ask for a smooth agenda today, a smooth luncheon today, Lord God. And we pray that the information that we get, that we won't just hear it, Lord God, but we will do something with it. And we pray these things in the precious name of your Son and my Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. So we're going to recognize our sponsor for this luncheon, which is AECOM. So thank you to AECOM for being a sponsor of this $1 billion luncheon and facilities contracting opportunities. If there is someone here from AECOM in the Zoom room, you can bring greetings from AECOM now. Not sure if anybody's here from AECOM. So I guess somebody's here. So thank you once again for your generous sponsorship of this luncheon. We appreciate you. So every month we spotlight a woman who is blazing trail in the industry that we're focusing on. So this month is educational facilities. And so we are now going to have Tiffany Sherry from New Seasons Construction to introduce our woman in the spotlight. Tiffany?
Okay, perfect. I was trying to get the unmute done. Thank you so much. So we will have our women in the spotlight today. A Miami-Dade native, Violet journeys in education spans from a dedicated school teacher to her current role as a senior educational program director at the Florida Department of Education, Office of Educational Facilities. With an extensive educational background from Florida Christian School and Florida Agriculture and Mechanical University, where she earned degrees in health and physical education, sports marketing, and educational leadership. Violet has dedicated her career to shaping the future of education in Florida. As a certified school teacher and a principal in the state of Florida, Violet has spent 15 years teaching middle school in Tallahassee before transitioning to the Florida Department of Education Office of Educational Facilities as an educational consultant in 2007. Today, she serves as the Senior Educational Program Director for OEF, overseeing significant decisions regarding new construction, remodeling, and renovations across Florida's 67 school districts, 28 colleges, university lab schools, and the Florida School for the Deaf and Blind. Outside of her professional achievements, Violet is a devoted mother to 3 adult daughters and a doting grandmother to 3 grandchildren. Not sure if Violet is on, but we thank you, and she has been highlighted.
Thank you so much, Tiffany.
You're
And again, congratulations to Violet Brown. We just wanted to spotlight her and give her her flowers while she's still here with us, blazing trail in this industry. Next, we will have greetings from FEFPA, and we will have Nady Hornsby to introduce our presenter. Nady?
She says she can't unmute.
Okay, I was just unmuted. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nady Hornsby. I am a business and trademark attorney and a new member of NABWIC South Florida. Today, I have the privilege of introducing Ms. Deborah Subjowski, the Chief Facilities Officer at Broward Public Schools. Deborah started her career with BCPS after 15 years of serving as AVP of Design and Construction at Broward College. However, her experience within construction goes, goes well beyond the school system and includes the fact that she is a licensed contractor with over 30 years of experience in both the private and public sectors. In other words, Deborah is not new to this world, and it is an honor to have her join us today. And with that, I will turn it over to Deborah.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me
we can hear
okay?
you just fine, Deborah.
Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we can hear you.
Perfect. Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to address such a distinguished gathering of professionals who have made such a significant strides in the construction industry. Congratulations to my friend Violet Brown for being the woman in the spotlight today. I would like to shine a light on an organization whose efforts mirror the commitment to excellence and diversity, the Florida Educational Facilities Planners Association, or better known as FEFPA. I'm excited to share that this year we're celebrating our 60th anniversary. FEFPA's history is a testament to the power of collaboration and innovation in shaping educational spaces across the state of Florida. Founded in 1964, FEFPA emerged as a crucial voice in educational facility planning, advocating for the creation of safe, inspiring, and functional environments for learning. FEFPA was started as a cooperative effort between a small group of school districts, facility planners, and the Department of Education, Office of Educational Facilities, OEF, which is where I met Violet. The intent, as it is now, was to provide a forum for the exchange of ideas and promote cooperation between Florida school districts and OEF. Throughout the history, FEFPA has organized an array of conferences and events that serve as forums for sharing the best practices, discussing emerging trends, and fostering professional development. We offer CEUs opportunities, which is very helpful for those of us that are so busy trying to keep up with our license requirements. These conferences bring together architects, engineers, contractors, educators, and policymakers to exchange ideas and insights that drive the continuous improvement of educational facilities. All these conferences attendees have the opportunity to participate in workshops, panel discussions, and networking sessions led by industry experts. The topics range from sustainable design and construction techniques to integration of technology in educational spaces, reflecting FEFPA's commitment to staying at the forefront of innovation. Moreover, FEFPA's conferences provide a platform for promoting diversity and inclusion within the construction and educational sectors by championing initiatives that support underrepresented groups, including women and minorities. FEFPA aligns closely with the values and mission of your organization. We offer 2 conferences a year, a winter conference, which is usually held in February, and a summer conference, which is usually in July. This summer, we'll have our conference at the beautiful Boca Resort in Boca Raton from July 22nd to July 25th. And we will be inducting our first Black woman president, Jesma Lambert, from Orange County Public Schools. I would love to see you all there to support her. Our conferences are very dynamic. We have the Department of Education who actively participates by offering training and informing us of legislative changes that directly affect our industry. The summer conference are attended by about 500 industry partners and members of the facility departments in educational institutions in our state, which range, from the K through 12 colleges and universities. The summer conferences now include gold, silver, and bronze sponsors with exhibits and product vendor displays. We have the President's Dinner, which is usually a beautiful banquet with casino games and some dancing. This provides an opportunity for networking in addition to the formal booth. The winter conference is held in the spring. It's usually a more intimate event with about 250 attendees. There is no showcase during the winter, but instead we have an architectural showcase, which highlights projects and awards architects and contractors for innovative design and construction in educational facilities in Florida. This year, the winter conference was held at the Hammocks Beach Resort. For more information, I invite you to review our website at fefpa.org. In closing, let us continue to build upon the rich legacy of those who came before us, forging new pathways and breaking down barriers in the construction industry. Together, we can create a future where every voice is heard, every talent is recognized, and every woman has the opportunity to thrive. Thank you so much for including me today.
Thank you so much, Deborah, and thank you for your persistence. I know we played phone tag for many days, so thank you for, being persistent and calling me back, and we're happy to have you on here today. And like Deborah said, if you want more information on FEFPA, you can visit their website at fefpa.org. That's FEFPA.org. I've attended the summer conference before, and so if you're in South Florida, this summer, I encourage you to attend the conference and support Jesma, like she said, from Orange County. So thank you very much, Deborah. Now we're going to do a little bit of networking. We are going to be put into breakout rooms where we have an opportunity to chat with each other, briefly with each other, and share your elevator pitch. So elevator pitch, that means it's brief. 20 to 30 seconds, your name, your business, and product or service that you offer. If you are a NABWIC member and you are in a breakout room, please take the lead and show others who are new to this how the elevator pitch is done. So our producer, Dwight, is going to put us in those breakout rooms now, where we're going to network a little bit with our elevator pitches. Remember, It's brief, it's short, 20 to 30 seconds, so everybody has an opportunity to share their name, business, and product or services. So we're going to go in those breakout rooms now.
All right, the breakout rooms are going to be opening, and please remember to turn your cameras and microphones on when you're speaking. Yeah, I'm going to bring you back now. All right, the breakout rooms will be closing now.
All right, everybody's coming back into the room. Hopefully you made some good connections while you're in the breakout room, giving your elevator pitches. And hopefully you'll utilize those contacts as well. That way until we have everybody back into the main room. I don't know how I'm gonna know. Let me see.
Miss Tim.
And McNeil, I like your background.
Isn't it nice?
Somebody has a beach in the background. I like that. I like that background too.
Hello, everyone. So we're back in the main session.
Okay.
Everybody's back? Is everybody back in the main session? Okay, well, welcome back. Like I said, hopefully you were able to make some great connections in the breakout room. We are going to take a group picture now. And so in the virtual world, how we take a group picture is that we take a screenshot. So our producer, Dwight, is going to give us instructions on how we're going to do this group picture. Dwight?
All right, cool. All right, so we have about 3 pages, so we're going to need everyone to pose as if you are on the first page. So when you hear me say ready, you smile, look into the camera, and I will move on to the next page. And ready. All right, got that. We're moving to the next page. Remember, you don't know which page you're on, so you gotta smile. All right, and ready.
I can't get
That, and now third page. Ready, and got it. All right. Back over to
Thank you,
Tim.
Dwight. Thank you, Dwight. Now, remember, at the top of the meeting, I talked about some house rules, and one of those was make sure that you're on mute. So I'm going to ask everybody to please kindly mute yourselves before we go on to our next presenter, who is going to be introduced by Audrey Carthon. So Audrey, you can go ahead and introduce our next presenter from the School District of Palm Beach County.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Again, my name is Audrey Carthon, and I will be introducing Mr. David Dolan, who's the Chief of Facilities Management with the School District of Palm Beach County. Mr. David Dolan came to the School District of Palm Beach County in 2017 from Palm Beach County government, where he worked with the Capital Improvements Division for over 10 years. Originally from New Jersey and Northern Virginia, Mr. Dolan earned a bachelor's degree in architecture with a focus in civil engineering from Lehigh University and an MBA from Florida Atlantic University, with over 20 years in the public sector. Mr. Dolan's education and unique experience in both architecture and civil engineering disciplines led to his management of various capital programs, specializing in park facilities and government office building renovations and hardening. As the Chief of Facilities Management, Mr. Dolan oversees the departments of maintenance and plant operations, building code services, environmental and conservation services, and facilities construction, and administers the Construction Oversight Review Committee. He also administers the district's capital development program, managing the 2016 $1.6 billion sales tax referendum with the support of an outside program management firm. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. David G. Dolan.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so very much. I wanted to thank Ann. Ann and I have a good long relationship, and I'm very excited to be a part of this this event. I really want to just jump right into my program because I want to make sure there's opportunities for questions. If there's opportunities that I can try to connect you with my people at the school district, I'd rather do that than you hear me talk. So if we can jump right onto that first slide. Okay, so real quick, I just want to touch on our top areas. How do we do business? How can I get any one of you involved in working with the school district of Palm Beach County? And I'm sure, as Juan Pagan has probably mentioned already, we have lots of different ways of getting connected with different government entities. Our district is no different. We have lots of different contracts. We have term vendor contracts. We have general contracting services for under $300,000. Those are both single disciplines like electricians and HVAC, but we also have goods and services contracts. If you're selling a product, there's chances are somewhere in the district, our schools and our administration needs that service. So always want you looking out for those. We have obviously large projects where we do an invitation to bid, an RFP. And we also have quite a number of continuing contracts, and then ones I want to focus on, again, from my world, in the construction world, is we have at least two major CMARs, construction manager at risk type of contracts. We have a $0 to $2 million. It's not really a sheltered market, but it is certainly engaged towards having smaller contractors that can't bond for quite as much money. You know, if you're just getting started and you want to get your feet wet, we want to try to open up these opportunities for those smaller companies. We also do have a CMAR contract for $2 million to $4 million projects. And as you'll note, hopefully everybody has access to my my presentation, because while you can't click on this link, you can type out that link for our solicitations that we have ongoing and upcoming. Work with our purchasing department quite closely to make sure that we're getting all these opportunities out there. One of the other areas where I want to focus is, and I'm not saying that everybody here is a small business, but certainly if you're interested in working with us, I beg you to reach out to our Office of Diversity and Business Practices. We do have a small business program. We track minority and women businesses. We really would look forward to you to join us on that link there for our Department of Diversity and Business Practices to sign up. Moving on to our next slide. Pre-qualification and our Periscope S2G. First off, pre-qualifying. Everybody kind of wonders, well, I'm not sure what type of work you might offer, what type of work I might have to be pre-qualified for. Well, I've got a link right there that I certainly welcome everybody. And we made it easy. They put, instead of putting all these long names, they just put like domain and a number. So I beg of you to reach out and type in these links to find out whether or not you need to be pre-qualified. Vendors that are providing construction services, generally, we do want them to be pre-qualified. We don't require it for design services. And then how do you get involved? How do you know that stuff is coming up? Well, our Periscope S2G, it's formerly built BidSync, is a great software package that we and many other agencies use. We want to make sure you know to sign up with Periscope S2G, because when you sign up under a lot of different cost codes that you might be able to provide services. So then when opportunities come up, we are putting out that information to all of those who've registered. So you will start getting notifications from Periscope that projects are coming up. So again, there's a link on there for signing up for Periscope S2G, the BidSync. And again, we can always reach out to our purchasing department. Okay, what I do, ultimately, I love construction. I mean, I oversee maintenance, and it's a huge responsibility. but I really focus on a lot of the improvements we need to do at our schools. My dear friend, Deborah Chabowski, we both pride ourselves on making sure that we give every student every opportunity, every possible opportunity we can do, making sure we provide the best learning environments. How do we go about doing that? Well, we've got a whole list of projects there. I'm not going to go through too many of them, but I do want to focus on a couple of them. The first one on the top there on the left says our penny sales tax referendum. We were fortunate enough back in 2016 to have the taxpayers of Palm Beach County approve a sales tax to allow us to improve upon our school district, all the schools. We had suffered many years where we had a limited budget in maintenance and could not update our schools. So a lot of the improvements you'll see over to the right, that box on the right, all the different types of things we're doing at schools right now. I've got 180 schools and I've probably got 75 or 80 of them done. We still have a lot more to go and a few more years left in that program. And you can see the kind of work we do, and whether it's interior work like HVAC systems and intercoms and classroom lighting, and exterior work like playgrounds and parking lots and fencing. We have lots of different opportunities. We do use CMAR contractors to do that, but we also use a lot of our term contracts to do some of this work. So it's a mix and match. That's why I say if we get you registered, there's lots of different opportunities. Our diversity department does a great deal of outreach to try to make sure that a lot of the companies know that we have these opportunities coming up. One of the other ones that I'm certain everyone is quite appreciative of, we focus heavily on a lot of our security enhancements. We're always looking to do new and improved security measures. Because again, ultimately, at all costs, our kids' safety and security is paramount. So you'll notice there's a lot of different types of projects. A lot of these are done under those other contracts we talked about previously. But I'm very proud of the efforts we've been engaged in on this sales tax referendum. So we're quite busy. As I said, we're spending $400 or $500 million a year at our schools on these new construction projects. And we really hope to continue this. As a matter of fact, moving on to our next slide, I believe this is probably my last slide. I wanted to let everybody know that just because we had a referendum back in 2016, that doesn't mean that we're done. We've got a lot more work to do. We're potentially putting on another ballot initiative in this November. And so certainly if you live in Palm Beach County, I certainly hope you will help us and support this. It's a $2 billion capital outlay surtax. A lot of the monies will be going towards safety and security, classroom technology, and of course, in my world, school buildings and facilities, and in addition, school buses. In addition to that, we're actually giving money. This is all about planned maintenance. We're trying to get schools to a certain level. And now we know that going forward, we got to make sure we maintain that level and we constantly try to grow. So we're always looking to improve. So that's where our planned maintenance program is looking. We're looking to spend a lot of the money on. In addition, school enhancement funds. One of the things we found when we focused on schools, we, of course, in facilities, we always think we know better. We know what schools need. No, not always the case. A lot of times the principals, the administrators, the custodians, the cafeteria workers, they really know what schools need. And we want to make sure we're addressing their needs. So not only will we be doing work towards that, we've allotted money to the schools that the school administration will control. That'll give them opportunities to enhance a lot of their programs, a lot of their academic choices. So we're really looking forward to giving them a little bit more opportunity themselves. And again, we also have a whole lot of school-based initiatives planned for this referendum. We know that the school building itself is very important, but what we're noticing a lot more now is athletic facilities and furniture, and even our choice programs. Those are huge areas where we're missing. And so we're really going to focus on a lot more on those. And because again, we always talk about in Palm Beach County, we want to make sure that charter schools as good as they are, they're not your best choice. We are your best choice. We give you so many more options, so many more ways to reach out and reach your students. So we really want to make sure that we are given that opportunity. And we hope that we can count on support moving forward, because there's a lot of work to be done. And again, this group, I would expect that many of you will be reaching out to me, and I desperately look forward to having you engage, because we've got a lot of work to do in the future. And I believe that's it. That's why I wanted to stop and turn this over to questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dolan. I'm going to ask that questions be placed in the chat. If you can answer the questions in the chat. So if you have any questions for Mr. Dolan about his presentation, about doing work with the school district of Palm Beach County, put them in the chat. And Mr. Dolan, I'll ask you to answer those questions in the chat, and we'll move on to our next presenter. Okay?
Thanks very much, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we're going to move on to our next presenter from Detroit Public Schools, and we're going to have her introduced by Terrellyn Buckles. So Terrellyn, can you go ahead and introduce our next presenter, please?
Yes, absolutely. Good afternoon. I'm Terrellyn Buckles, President and CEO of Onyx Enterprise. We're a civil engineering and construction firm headquartered here in Detroit, and we're currently working on 2 Detroit Public Schools Community District contracts. It is my honor to introduce our next speaker, Mrs. Mashawn Jackson. Mashawn Jackson, there we are, serves as a Deputy Superintendent of Operations for the Detroit Public Schools Community District. And she oversees the core operations of technology, food service, transportation, warehouse and logistics, real estate, environmental health facilities, and capital improvements. Ms. Jackson possesses more than 20 years of experience in all facets of education, including teaching, school-level administration, board membership, central office administration, and new school development. She also led the charge to use surplus fund for capital investments, completed over 300 capital projects in 5 years, and reduced building downtime by 38%. In her current role, she leads the district improvement strategy, which includes determining baseline conditions, analyzing current and future investment needs, prioritizing work, defining creative solutions due to funding gaps, and ensuring sustainability. As a result of the strategic framework, she has tackled major undertakings solving the district's drinking water crisis, reactivating 4 district schools, and creating an unprecedented facilities master plan to guide the expenditure of $700 million to support the district's recovery. Jackson is a board member of the Diploma Equity Project and Local Development Finance Authority. She serves on the Council of Great City Schools Strategic Support Team, and she's a member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Let's welcome Mrs. Mashawn Jackson.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Terrellyn, for that kind introduction. And it is my esteemed pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. I'm not a member of this esteemed organization, but I'm looking forward to hearing more about the organization. And I'm very pleased to see some familiar faces, that in Kim Dokes, who's working with us, Stephanie Gobain, obviously Terrellyn, as well as some of my Council of Great City Schools friends and colleagues. And so with that, I'm actually going to share my screen, if you don't mind. Okay, great. Hopefully you can see my screen. All right. And so with that, I'm going to move forward and just kind of talk about what we're doing at Detroit Public Schools Community District. We are a district of just under 50,000 students with 106 school buildings, but 150 buildings total under management. And we found out early on, as I'll share briefly, that we needed to do something about our school buildings as a result of coming from under emergency management and state takeover. So this process began in 2018, where we underwent a facility assessment that showed $1.5 billion in facility needs if we did not make investments in our buildings. And we actually began working on a plan to go out for a bond, to request a bond in order to attend to those needs. But in the middle of our planning, 2020 happened. And so we had the opportunity to regroup, and we were fortunate to receive monies, as most school districts were, from the federal government, from COVID relief funding, that in ESSER. And with the ESSER funds, we determined how can we have the greatest impact with these funds. Not only do we want to attend to student learning loss and ensure that students were emotionally well, but we also want to make great investments in our buildings. And so I'm proud to share that our project, to our knowledge, has the largest percentage of its ESSER funds of any urban school district allocated to facilities. 60% of our ESSER funds were allocated for facilities. And so in between receiving those funds, we did move forward with some anchor investments based on our fund balances. And this work, the facility master plan work that I'm about to share, is just a continuation of those anchor investments. And so our facility master plan seeks to accomplish a 20-year vision and plan with constraints of funding. Under emergency financial management, unfortunately, we were void of a plan, and we were under emergency financial management for almost 2 decades. And we learned that we were void of a plan. There really was no concrete studies as to the current condition of our buildings and how to improve those buildings. And so the plan sought to remedy that and utilize $700 million in one-time funding to address our most critical needs. Now, I mentioned in 2018, our facility assessment showed $1.5 billion in need. However, because of significant escalation during COVID, we determined that that need had moved to $2.1 billion. Now, $700 million doesn't meet all of the need, but it will make a substantial dent. Also, the facility master plan seeks to protect neighborhood schools and feeder patterns. We wanted to maximize the use of our school buildings because many of our buildings were underutilized at about 71%. And we wanted to invest in early education. This is just an overview of the city. I won't cover this in its totality, but you'll see in these feeder patterns across our city, the larger numbers represent the needs by those feeder patterns. The bold names are the names of the feeder pattern or neighborhood high schools. We have several more high schools, but this is how we identify the district. And combined, those needs were just overwhelming. And as I mentioned, $2.1 billion. And so what we determined was our average FCI, Facility Condition Index, of all of our buildings was about 40 on the Facility Condition Index scale. As we know, the higher the number, the worse the condition. And as I mentioned, our utilization rate was about 71%. We knew that if we made no investments whatsoever, those numbers would quickly move us into the failing realm on our key indicators. At the beginning of this work, we were in deficient. And if we move forward as we're doing with the $700 million in investments, we'll reach fair on our key indicators in terms of an FCI rate. That's not good, but it definitely isn't deficient, and we surely aren't leading towards failing. You'll also see before investment what our FCI scores look like in terms of a percentage of all of our, or actually not a percentage, but a school count, a rough count of our buildings, and after the investment, how we're going to make significant improvements. We also determined that we would make some immediate commitments to our families as well as our constituents, and that would be realized through 5 new school buildings through the implementation of the facility master plan, 7 building reactivations, 5 new additions. I mentioned the commitment to pre-K. And so we wanted to expand our pre-K footprint in our existing buildings, which would require some construction work. And we also wanted to ensure that we had a health center in every feeder pattern. Additionally, we wanted to ensure that we had significant technology upgrades. We heard Dave mention their projects there included technology. That is definitely the way of the world now. And we also wanted to make significant upgrades to outdoor spaces, because though we're in a technological world, we wanted to ensure that students were encouraged to participate in outdoor play. And then lastly, we wanted to attend to the health and safety and ensure sustainable facility options across the district. And so what does this look like with our $700 million facility master plan that will be implemented through the year 2029? We broke the work into 6 series based on the complexities and contingencies of the work. In series 1, we're looking at about $202 million worth of work, which includes new buildings, additions, program moves, as well as demolitions. In series 2, as you'll see, we moved forward with program moves, with consolidations, if you will, of some of our buildings, as well as building reactivations. We're expanding our preschool footprint in series 3. Demolitions, significant demolitions in series 4, new buildings, reactivations, et cetera, in series 5, and significant building renovations in over 50 schools in series 6. And you'll also see the allocated funds, the budget that we have for each of those projects, as well as the project start date. I mentioned demolitions. Incumbent of this work is to realize that if we demolish buildings or if we phased out buildings, because the plan does call for the phase out of 4 of our buildings, that we could no longer leave empty buildings in our neighborhoods. And I don't know about those who are represented on the call today in terms of your cities, but overwhelmingly in the past, when buildings were phased out or closed, those buildings weren't demolished. And so there's significant blight and eyesores in the communities. And we shared with them that we don't want to complete the fallacies of the past. And so this work does call for significant demolition. Lastly, I'll just kind of talk through about what this process looked like. It's interesting because we wanted to roll it out in a way that was very similar to a bond project, if you will. There's significant momentum in explaining to our constituents, our parents, our staff members, as well as our students, like what is going on with the condition of their buildings. They're living it, they're in it all the time. As Dave said, you know, we want to be cognizant of the end user. And I'm uniquely positioned because I do hail from the classroom, and then I moved into administration before moving into operations. And so all of the work that I do has a pulse of the end user and the students. So it was very important for us to get a feel of what they wanted as we move forward with the process. And so we've had, at the beginning of the facility master plan, we had numerous engagement meetings. We had listed the number of attendees. We also had significant responses to an online survey, and this was during COVID. And overwhelmingly 80% of the respondents were supportive of the investment, which is significant because we had to regain the trust of our constituency before we moved forward with building new buildings and renovating buildings. We also, on the other side of the facility master plan process in terms of creating the plan, we started our community design meetings, and we asked key questions during those meetings. And it was very important that we, from an internal standpoint, had a clear vision of how we were going to communicate with our various community members. And so on the next slide just gives an overview of the communication plan. Again, coming from emergency financial management when things were done to and not with. it was important for all of our constituents to know lockstep. What are we planning to do? How are we going to do that? How their voices needed to be heard and how they were an integral component of this plan. Then we also, and this work was led actually by Kim Dotes, who is joining the call, who's on the call. We wanted to make sure that we designed for the future. And so we heard some of these design insights as a result of the community engagement processes. They were very concerned about safety with secure vestibules, et cetera. They wanted to make sure that we could optimize future-ready academic spaces with a fair degree of flexibility. We also wanted to ensure holistic learning and well-being, hence the health club, the health hubs, and all of the other conventions that are listed on bullets 1 through 7 were very important, and we included those elements in our building design. On the other side, so the initial numbers that I showed was the development of the plan. On the other side, once the plan was approved by our board, we started moving forward with additional community meetings within those school communities that would receive new buildings. And so this is just some numbers. It's very important as we're doing this work and as we're trying to encourage those of you who are in the construction world on this call to join us and bid for our projects, to know that, again, we're doing this work with the end user in mind, and we're doing this with, and we're not doing this to. And as I close, we'll see just an overview of the total number of projects that the facility master plan includes. That's a fairly condensed number. There are thousands of projects that fit within that 338 number. And you'll also see some renderings of our new school buildings. We're very proud of this work because as we're erecting these buildings, it costs our taxpayers nothing. And so that's another way of just kind of galvanizing them and encouraging them to follow us as we move forward with this work. I'm going to, in the interest of time, go to the last slide. Well, actually, I'll share this. We did have a need to bring on different business agents from owner's representative. Our owner's representative for all series, with the exception of series 6, have been committed. Our AE and CM firms have been committed for all series with the exception of series 6. Our technology consultant has been procured for some of our series, and we still have opportunities for commissioning agents, trades, other construction companies, as well as those who want to help us with our public relations work. Again, my name is Michonne Jackson, Deputy Superintendent of Operations for Detroit Public Schools Community District. It is my esteemed pleasure to be here with you. I will drop my information in the chat, and if you have any questions, I'll be sure to respond.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jackson, for your presentation on Detroit Public Schools. We're happy that you were able to join us. Like Ms. Jackson said, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat, and hopefully she'll be able to get to them and answer them. We'll move right on to our next presenter from Miami-Dade County Public Schools, and we're going to have Dr. Igosa, to introduce our next presenter. Dr. E.
Good afternoon. I am Igosa Igbenova, Dr. E, and I am a STEAM workforce development consultant and project manager here in sunny South Florida. It's great to see everyone, and it's my distinct pleasure to introduce Marilyn Z. Capone from Miami-Dade Public Schools, graduate of the Miami Northwestern Senior High School and the School for Advanced Studies. I was glad to be able to take on this job today. So Marilyn Z. Capone graduated from Florida International University with a Bachelor of Science in Architectural Technology. She's been with Miami-Dade County Public Schools for 23 years. She started off as a project manager in June of 2001. And now in 2024, she is the Assistant Superintendent of Facilities Operation, the Office of Capital Improvement Projects. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Marilyn Z. Capone.
All right, Ms. Marilyn, You should be able to unmute and come off and turn your video on. If not, we might need to stand by to move on.
All right, if Ms. Capone is not able to come off of mute and turn her camera on, we'll go ahead and move to our next presenter, and then we'll circle back to her. So we will go ahead and have Peggy Johnson to introduce our next presenter, presenting on behalf of Ann Arbor Public Schools. Peggy?
Good afternoon. My name is Peggy Johnson, and I am the president of CAP Contracting Incorporated, located here in Jacksonville, Florida. I have the pleasure of introducing Ms. Stephanie Corona this afternoon. Stephanie leads the Gilbane Program Management Team in the successful delivery of the Ann Arbor Public Schools $1 billion bond program. She leads the K-12 Center of Excellence for Michigan and understands the specific drivers and trends in the Michigan market. Her knowledge in best design practices, construction solutions, and operational excellence assists clients in their overall project needs. Stephanie has a BS in construction management from Eastern Michigan University and 38 years in the construction industry. I present to you Ms. Stephanie Corona.
Thank you. Hopefully you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, Stephanie. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Very much appreciate being invited here today to talk about Ann Arbor schools. I think there was a mistake. I think it was only 10 years of experience because 38 would insinuate that that I'm older. I'm here representing Ann Arbor Public Schools. We're the program manager, and Bernie Rice and Jason Bing are with Ann Arbor Public Schools. They're both unable to be here today, so they asked for me to speak about our program and what we have going on here. Ann Arbor Schools did pass $1 billion bond program, and we also have what they didn't say is we also have an additional $900 million in sinking funds. So really, the overall program is $1.9 billion. I'm trying to advance. There we go. Really, the district overview is that we have 36 buildings. We house over 18,000 children, 2,400 staff. We are currently the largest landowner in Washtenaw County. We have not had a bond issue for quite a while, and similar to what Michonne and Dave's have stated with their school districts, a lack of continued improvements or maintenance created us a dire situation in Ann Arbor, where we had as many as 5 buildings that were ready to be condemned. So it was important that the public approve the capital improvements and the bond program. A quick map of how many properties that we do have, and we actually cover 125 square miles, 3.4 million square feet of buildings on 723 acres. The average year our schools were built was 1956, and we actually serve 9 municipalities, including the city of Ann Arbor. So as a brief overview, I had said before, the voters did approve $1 billion. And they also have a reoccurring sinking fund worth $900 million. They really wanted to focus on the teaching and learning, safety, health and well-being, sustainability and environmental responsibility infrastructure, and really making sure that they have efficient and effective support services with technology and transportation. Our average age is actually 68 on most of our schools. We only have one school that's yanking us to the 50, or is yanking us back a little bit, but most of our buildings are actually more than 68 years old. The number of schools that are over 100 are 5. The number of projects that we actually performed in 2023 were 50 last summer. We did 35 the year before and 22 in 2021. Every building has seen improvement within 3 years of the program so far. We've had $187 million worth of capital expenditures, which just tells you how much more we have to go. There are 2 portions to the program. One is the early phase that really focuses on facility condition improvements that came out of the facility condition assessment. Most all of the buildings, there's only 2 buildings in the district that had air conditioning. That means the average temperature for students to learn in those weird times of the year of spring and fall were over 90 degrees in some of our buildings, and many of our buildings actually. And that really doesn't leave for a conducive learning environment. Focusing on roof replacements, the envelopes, and making sure that we actually stabilize our buildings was the first priority in the first couple of years. In addition to that, we've, with the stabilization of the buildings, we've done over 107,000 square feet of roof replacements. We've done roof coatings that extend the life of maybe a marginal roof, 97,000 square feet. Ceiling tile replacement of over 350,000 square feet, of which we have recycled the ceiling tile. We've entered into a ceiling tile recycle program, so we're just not throwing those back to the landfill, but they do get recycled back to the manufacturer. And we've also installed fire suppression systems. But most importantly, by the end of this summer, every building in the district will have air conditioning. And to us, that's a massive undertaking. But can't tell you how great it is for kids to look at you and say, thank you. It's not hot in my classroom anymore. Just a few things that we also did improvements on. Our theater rigging was the original rigging from the 50s. They were beyond their useful life. Many playground projects, paving projects, improvement projects, roofing, as I said before, but our biggest thing is solar. We've added solar to quite a few of our buildings. We've just done miscellaneous classroom improvements. But the most important thing I'm very proud of is our sustainability efforts that we've had here. With all the solar that we've included, we actually have, it's actually not 6%. I just found out yesterday we are up to a 7% annual electrical consumption savings from our solar where we have solar installed at our buildings. That we have geothermal that's currently installed and running at 3 of our buildings right now, which will offset significantly the added cost for air conditioning. We've replaced over 8,000 light fixtures with LED high efficient light fixtures. And we will be looking at an average reduction in our electrical consumption by 25% just by adding the LED lighting. We also installed electric charging stations for our buses. We sampled with 5 buses. We're getting through the learning curve of how that works and what we can exactly use those buses for. I think we have a little bit of a while before we convert the whole system over to electric buses at this time from our learning curve. If anybody wants to ask me questions, I'll be glad to tell you all about it. But most importantly, we have added window treatments to all of our classrooms to reduce on heat load, planting of shade trees in our playgrounds and in public spaces, and then again solar. So operationally, I mean, we're doing building projects, right? But I mean, we have to replace food service equipment and walk-in coolers and elevators and, so we've added hydration stations, touchless fixtures, the improvement to our clock and PA systems. So what does it mean for construction very quickly? And that is, I talked about phase one, which was the facility condition assessment improvements, right? But our second phase is our major projects or renovations, and that is really the replacement of approximately 18 buildings. We do have buildings where we've done an assessment. It is cheaper for us at this point to replace them than for us to renovate them. And in the long run, it will be more cost effective by having more improved envelopes and, a better layout of our building for learning. So in 2024, we start a few of our projects for construction. 2025, this is where everybody can start getting involved. We are just getting ready to bid out our 2024 projects. Our 2025 projects will bid out next fall. Our 2026 projects will bid out in fall of 2025. Lots of new projects. We have many of our partners. We're program managers. We're also construction managers, but in this case, we're the program manager. And so we have hired McCarthy and Smith and Bricks, our minority construction manager, to help us oversee the projects, along with KEO and Associates, who is also another minority partner. So how do you find out about work? Well, we have actually created a special website just for everything bond and sinking funds and capital improvements, and it's the a2schoolsbond.org. On there, you will see a location that says contractors. On that contractor page, it tells you everything that is currently out for bid or coming up for bid. It has links in order to get the bidding information. We bid everything through Building Connected, which I'll show you in a second. It also has we also background checked all of our employees that will be around students, or all of our workers. So there's links for background checks about how to perform work at the district. So what is our cycle? It's actually a 4-year cycle. I think people think, oh, we're going to go right away, but we don't. We actually have a year of community engagement and early planning. Similar to what Michonne said, we really want to, it's been years and years of telling people what we're going to do. And we actually need to get input back from everybody, from students to staff, our community members, our partners. And so far today, we've had 130 separate engagements on just the projects coming out of 24 and 25, coming out of the gate. Year 3 is all about construction, bidding and award and construction. And year 4 is finishing up construction. We commission out all of our buildings and then moving in. It is no secret about how our thought process works here. Construction ends in April. Commissioning and closeout, meaning making sure everything's buttoned up, happens for 4 months until June. When school gets out, that's when people move from their old building to their new building, allowing for the whole summer for staff to prepare in their new building and get acclimated to it. Our medium and smaller projects are a little bit shorter. They're always 2 years, a year for design, bid and award, and then a year for construction. And what does that process look like? Building Connected. You're going to see links to it. I will also put links in the chat for all of our CMs. They've asked me to share their links. And it's not just for Ann Arbor schools, it's for everything that's bidding out there for these companies. So please feel free. And for Gilbane, you'll see our link. It's all of our projects that we have that are going through Building Connected in the country. So you will see things from Chicago and Florida and all over the country. And also Detroit Public Schools when we get ready to put our bid out here in the next month. We also assist our contractors. We understand that we're in a world of technology. So at Ann Arbor, we have actually scanned in every historical drawing for a building In addition, we have done 3D scans of all the buildings that are available to our architects and our bidders, so they have the ability to give us accurate pricing and numbers. And finally, working in Ann Arbor schools, it's all about safety and security. So we do ask for background checks for all of our design and construction personnel, ID badging, and really physical barriers wherever we can for between students and staff in areas working. It's all about health and well-being. We do advance NESHAP or environmental reports for lead, asbestos, and then we also promote clean environments. And most importantly, we pay people within 30 days, point blank. Trade contractors get paid within 30 days. We actually strive for 2 weeks, but it's never longer than 30 days. So again, more information, go to a2schoolsbond.org, and I will be glad to take any questions through the chat. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie, and thank you for being available to answer questions in the chat. So if you have any questions for Stephanie, please go ahead and drop those in the chat. And also please be sure after when we're done to save the chat, because she did say that she would put links inside the chat. So you want to be sure to grab the information now or to save the chat later. So thank you for being with us this afternoon, Stephanie. We're going to move on. We're going to go back. Sorry, I was going to say we're going to move on, but we're going to go back. I believe that Marilyn Capone from Miami-Dade County Public Schools is now ready. And since Dr. E already did her introduction around her bio, so we're just going to hand it over to you, Ms. Capone.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry, am I going to be sharing the screen, or are you presenting what I had submitted earlier?
It's on the screen now, so we're presenting what you submitted earlier.
Okay. All right. So I've been working with the district for about 23 years, as mentioned earlier. I started as a project manager, and now, as of recent, I've now servicing the district as the assistant superintendent for facilities operations. And in that 20-year period, I've performed many projects that were renovations, remodelings, new additions, new constructions, and partial replacements in entire facilities. The Office of School Facilities has many upcoming opportunities. And we have in our website, we have predicted projects that are going to be going into the bidding phase that exceed an amount of about 30. So we welcome all participants to engage, to come into our website and follow the different links that I can make available for you, and also provide under this chat so that everyone can see the opportunities of schools that we have in the coming near future. If we go to the next slide, right now, like I said, we have like about over 700 projects that are ongoing with the district. Some of them are in programming, some of them are in design, and some are in construction. Today, I was going to speak about 4 projects. The first one is one that's up and running. We just completed it. It's massed at FIU. It's a classroom building. We have under construction the Brickell Southside Preparatory Academy. This is a new pilot project that Miami-Dade County Public Schools is now engaging in, and we look forward to doing many more projects like this, where we have the mixed use of educational and local workforce housing. We also have in design the Skyway Frederica Wilson Elementary, which is supposed to be a net zero school. And then, like I said, with the opportunities that we have right now, we have Madison Middle School, which is an RFP that's out there to engage with an architect engineer firm for solicitation. Can we go to the next slide? Okay, so these are slides just basically showing this is our latest project completed. which is the Mass at FIU Biscayne campus. It's right next to the university. It's 52,000 gross square feet, and it will be housing 640 student stations. These are elevations, different elevations of this project that was just completed. Here, you know, we see that, like with all our buildings, we try to maximize the natural light. We try to implement finishes such as marmoleum flooring, which will save us on maintenance throughout the years. LED lighting, energy efficient lighting. These are the typical things that we include in all our classrooms. We're looking more into mobile furnishings so that we can rearrange the setup, and it gives us more flexibility as how classes are being conducted. Now, with Math at FIU, we have our upcoming project, which is for this school to be solar ready. Actually, the school is solar ready right now. Well, what the second phase would be bringing in the solar panels to this school. So all the infrastructure is in, and we're just ready for our second project to begin. In the next slide, however, as part of this project, we did include in the parent drop-off, which you can see there, you can't see the solar panels, but we did include the solar panels above the parent drop-off. And this is the direction that we're hoping to move forward with our upcoming projects. There you could see the parent drop-off with the solar panels above them. That is how it was constructed. So here we have the Brickell project, the Southside Preparatory Academy. This is the first multi-level project that Miami-Dade County has done, which is 7 levels. And this building is in the rapid transit zone. So therefore, there's no parking. Everything is within walking distance. We have shops, restaurants, office buildings, and of course, the transit station just blocks away. So this is a first for us, and we look forward to doing this more in the future, given the real estate here in Miami-Dade County. This is, like I said, this is a project that it's in the urban site. So things like art in public places is one of the things that we implement in our buildings, featuring the murals and arts that we implement. Also, this is our first project where it's a combination of educational and local workforce housing. This is a collaboration that we're doing with Miami-Dade County Public Schools and Miami-Dade County Housing and Community Development. So we are, for the first time, as you can see, this is just a map of our rapid transit zone. This is where our school is located. And you can go to the next slide. One of the things that this school is under construction, it's slated to be completed at the end of this year. And as I said, this is a collaboration that we're doing with Miami-Dade County Housing and Community Development, where the local workforce, we're having apartments that are specifically for teachers. Teachers have always, throughout the years, have been struggling. And this is one avenue that we are providing for them so that they can have affordable housing and at the same time be close to the schools. We're looking forward in the near future doing more of these projects, but with more apartments. This is, like I said, this is our first venture doing this project. Next slide. Like I said, this is a 7-story building. It will be housing 610 students, and it has your general purpose classrooms. It has your science, art, music, media center. And then because of the constraints of, urban sites where we don't have these larger school sites that other facilities have, we look into things like in the roof level, we proposed the basketball courts, running tracks. We can do multi-purpose rooms, weight rooms, dance rooms, and that is what we're doing at this facility. As far as its referring to the housing components, these are apartments that are small. They're 660 square feet, but they're 1-bedroom apartments. They do have large restrooms. We are proposing 2 handicap accessible apartments, and the school in itself is totally separate from the housing. It's one building, but they have their separate entrances, their separate lobbies, separate elevators. So they're within the same site, but they are separate from the actual students. Next slide. So this is a typical rendering of what this school looks like. This school is right now 80% complete. However, the photo on the top will be the dining area, and it will have murals. And as you can see on the left, it shows like storefronts. Those are offices where staff can also be overlooking the dining area. Always safety control monitoring. In the back, you may not see it as well, but it has like stadium seating. So it has the flexible space where sometimes you can be conducting activities or show performances, and you can be sitting at the stadium seating and looking out. Or it could also be used for lunch. Sometimes, you know, students would like to just, instead of sitting at a table, they could sit out with their friends in this type of environment. In the lower photo, this is kind of pretty much typical of every floor, where you will have your classrooms and your labs to each side. And then in the center core, you have these flex spaces that the schools can use for different, you know, private learning, group learning. They could also be used as classrooms. And depending on, you know, the furniture configuration, that's how we can propose these additional spaces. Some students like to work alone. Some students like to work in groups, depending on the activity or depending on the assignment. These flex spaces assist and promote the student learning in many ways. Because of the constraints of this particular project that's in this urban site, you know, we propose things like the biophilic wall, so that you see it throughout all 7 levels, to enhance, you know, this indoor environment that we have and the lack of outdoor landscaping. As far as the picture on the left, you see there what I was mentioning, where you have on the 7th floor, you have a basketball court, and you also have a running track that goes all around the 7th level. And then the 2 larger spaces that you see on the right, one is a dance class, and the other one is a multi-level or / weight room, which is what it's proposed for this building. So basically all the activities are there. On the 7th floor, I mean, there's things like security grills, so that for the safety of students, and also it has a net on the ceiling, which you can't see there, but it's also for, you know, basketballs not falling over or things falling over the building, and always, of course, the safety and protection of our students. In this picture here, it's a corner view of how the building is going to look like. The area there that's shaded out, those are the 2nd and 3rd floor apartments. So they are apartments with balconies. They have views to the city, and as you can see, they're integrated with the educational side, but they are separate. Like I said, they have separate entrances and separate access and lobbies from the school. This is a typical apartment that we are introducing in our project, where you see it has a large restroom. It's a 1-bedroom apartment. It has a kitchen, living combined, and the finishes are very modern, state of the art. We have high efficiency appliances. We have high-end finishes, you know, granite tops, and and porcelain flooring, track lighting. There's many components that have been put into these apartments that are very welcoming and very energy efficient, the same as washer and dryers in the apartments. And as you can see there, those are elevations of the restrooms that we are have under construction at this time. Then there's a Skyway Frederica Wilson Elementary. This is our first net zero school where, as you can see, this one is in the catchment area, very close to the borderline of Miami-Dade County line. And here the whole intent is to do our building, which is gonna have it's gonna give us the energy that we are gonna consume in an entire year, making it a net zero building. Go on to the next slide. So this one, we just completed our master plan, and we had our presentations where, you know, things that we are proposing. So we have a retention pond, we have lush landscaping and berms and things that will promote shade and percolation. We're also proposing all these solar panels in the new buildings and potentially also as well in the covered walkways. Here you see in orange, you see those are the covered walkways that will be solar ready if required, and all the other roofs will receive the solar panels. And as you can see the pictures above, those are the key things that we're trying to look into these new buildings, you know, making sure that the orientation of the building is placed correctly, and that natural lighting is something that that we make, that is key in our design. Solar panels in our roofs, and like I said, landscaping and covered walkways. This is just another view. And then I'm bringing up Madison Middle School because, for example, this is a school right now that we have an RFP out there for AE solicitation. So we always have upcoming opportunities. Right now we have projected like over 30 projects that should be going into a bidding schedule for this coming year. This project, which one are we? Okay, so this Madison is a multi-phase project. It's a new construction. It will have classroom, science, media, and a new cafeteria. Once the new cafeteria is built, then the existing cafeteria will be demolished, and so smooth operation. Okay, the next one. Now, the existing school will also undergo renovations. And with this, we have paint, we have new windows, doors, HVAC upgrades, new finishes, and the security of fences, gates, and of course, you know, LED lighting. As far as their auditorium, they also have a new sound system that's going to be implemented with acoustical ceiling tiles and wall sound panels, as well as the finishes. And this is the typical kind of projects that we have ongoing on a regular basis. We encourage that you visit the school facilities, stateschools.net site, and for all the upcoming opportunities. And I'd like to thank you very much for the opportunity to present today. This was, I guess, a last minute thing that I was invited to, and I was very pleased to be a participant. I really would have wished I would have had more information, even though I know that time is limited. But I really encourage the architects and contractors to seek information with Miami-Dade County Public Schools. We have multiple projects coming up online, a lot of work, and we'd love to give out work. We have an OEO department, which is helping us tremendously with pre-qualified bidders. And we try to facilitate work for NWBE and SBE, small business, for all our upcoming projects. So with that said, I thank you very much for allowing me to present today.
Thank you for
notice.
joining us. We appreciate it. If excuse me, if anyone has any questions for Marilyn, you can go ahead and drop those questions in the chat, and hopefully she'll be able to answer them in the chat. But as she said, you can check out the facilities page at miami-dade-schools.net for more information. But if you have any questions, you can go ahead and drop those questions in the chat for Marilyn. We're going to move on to our next and final presenter, and we have Lakeisha Williams introducing our presenter from Guilford County Public Schools. Lakeisha?
Absolutely. Good afternoon. My name is Lakeisha Williams, owner of Sky 3 General Contracting and Staffing Services here in Charlotte, North Carolina. We provide general laborers, both skilled and unskilled, for short and long-term projects. It is my honor to introduce to you today Dr. Kimberly Funderburk. She is the Senior Director of Minority and Women-Owned Business Enterprises at Guilford County Schools, working to increase the participation level of minority contractors and subcontractors in the district's procurement contracts for materials, services, construction, and repair projects. Kimberly supports the district's mission by developing initiatives, program relative to building awareness of current projects, outreach, engagement, and certifications. Her work also includes strengthening community partnerships and building the capacity of business development for minority firms. Before joining the Business and Operations Department in 2022, Kimberly held various roles in the district. As the director of Guilford Parent Academy, a department of GCS devoted to assisting parents as they prepared their students for success, Kimberly reached more than 25,000 households with resources and workshops relevant to district initiatives. Working with GCS partners and volunteers, she served as the district's program administrator for volunteers and partnerships, cultivating relationships with parents and community members, including faith-based organizations. Understanding the importance of implementing diversity, Kimberly has been recognized for engagement programming by the National School of Public Relations Association and the North Carolina Public Relations Association as well. Kimberly holds a Bachelor of Arts degree in English from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, a Master of Business Administration degree from Capella University, and a Doctor of Business Administration degree in Organizational Leadership from North Central University. Please help me welcome Ms. Kimberly Funderburk.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to share an update on the district's construction opportunities on behalf of our superintendent, Dr. Whitney Oakley, and our deputy superintendent for business and operations, Dr. Julius Monk. So if I can share my screen. Guilford County Schools is the third largest district in North Carolina, serving nearly 70,000 students and approximately 9,700 employees, 97,000 employees. Our district has 345 schools and administration buildings, with 124 of that number being our schools. Guilford County Schools unveiled a comprehensive $2 billion facilities master plan in November of 2019 that calls for safety and technology upgrades to all of our district schools, rebuilding 22 schools on existing sites and fully renovating 19 schools. I want to start with expressing our sincere thanks and appreciation to the voters of Guilford County for entrusting us with $2 billion in May of 2022 for school improvements. We know that buildings build stronger communities. Stronger communities yield better environments for our students to learn and prepare for college careers and beyond. With that, let's move to the update I have for you on our construction bonds. And just to note that all of our projects open for bid are listed on the district's website at www.gcsnc.com under quick links. You can also find our construction bond website link on the GCS home site that details various information and status of our projects. As we look at our construction bonds projects, there are 6 schools already in the design phase. The Guilford County Board of Education will consider recommendation for the construction managers at risk for these projects. And once the CMARs for the projects are approved, the district will move forward with bid solicitations. And of these projects will be Katherine G. Johnson K-8 School, Sternberger Elementary School, Lindley Elementary School, Allen J. Elementary School, Sumner Elementary, and our Swan 6 through 12 Visual and Performing Arts School. Now I'd like to talk to you about our deferred maintenance and capital improvement program update. Where we are. So we are upgrading the audio and visual learning aids at 10 high schools. This includes interactive panels with built-in computers, which would have a 5-year warranty, wireless keyboards and mice, and professional learning on the use of the panels. So these schools include our Grimsley High, Smith High, High Point Andrews, and our High Point Central High School. We are currently working on several HVAC, roofing, and electrical related projects throughout the district. For HVAC projects, several schools are getting new boilers as well as new classroom HVAC units installed. And some of those schools include Madison Elementary, Oakview Elementary, Ragsdale, Grimsley, Southeast Middle, Fraser, and Cone. So let me talk about where we're headed. So for 2024 and beyond, schools will be receiving the audio and visual learning aids as previously outlined. Schools will have modernized paging and intercom systems installed. Schools will also receive improvements to their network infrastructure for optimum functionality and operability. In our next steps, Cone Elementary's roof in the auditorium is being replaced, and Fairview and Southwest Middle School are undergoing elevator renovations. The bid week for the roofing project at Cone Elementary School is the week of April 22nd. We will upgrade other types of equipment such as performance audio at Peck Elementary School and networking equipment for bond projects. The deadline for these bid submissions is April 23rd. Review of the infrastructure analysis to determine year 1 in priority schools for 2024-2025 is also underway. While the construction for Wiley Elementary School is not a part of the construction bond projects, Wiley Elementary School will receive cosmetic improvements for the Montessori occupancy. Solicitations for these improvements should be issued soon for the summer. The completion date is slated for August in time for the start of the 2024-2025 academic year. This slide shows projects that are in projects for deferred maintenance bond safety upgrades. Secure vestibules and safe entry points are among the most important steps to keeping our schools safe. Individual classroom upgrades include classroom door lock replacements and upgrades to the technology and paging and intercom improvements. High school parking lot and stadium lighting, along with camera upgrades, will complement our ongoing ESSER-funded camera project in keeping our campuses safe. Burglary, panic, and fire panel updates are imperative to replace aging infrastructure in our schools. Middle and high schools have seen an increase in the use of vapes within our school. And so GCS will install vape detectors in our middle and high school bathrooms. The last two deferred maintenance bond projects in safety are district-wide improvements in the broad categories of lighting and fencing as needs are determined. As part of these projects, we will be upgrading the tech closets in some of our older facilities. The security vestibules are in the design phase and bid solicitations are forthcoming with potential bid closings during the week of May 24th. Before I wrap up, I'd also like to mention that the GCS Office of Minority and Women-Owned Business Enterprises, MWBE office, has launched the MWBE Engage newsletter last fall to ensure the district's opportunities are shared with current partners and those who are interested in engaging with the district. The newsletter is also available in Spanish. And to date, there are more than 1,100 subscribers. And I'll wrap up by saying the district is always looking forward to the numerous possibilities to support our public schools. And I ask that you review our current projects and bid closings at our website, www.gcsnc.com. If you scroll down near the bottom of the page, you'll see quick links. You can access all of our bid projects as well as our bond construction website. So with that, I thank you again for allowing me to share a brief summary of our construction projects that we have for the district.
Thank you very much, Dr. Funderburg. Thank you for joining us this afternoon and giving us that information. If anybody has a question for Dr. Funderburg, you can go ahead and drop those questions in the chat and we'll see if she can get to them. Thank you so much again for joining us. The next thing on our agenda this afternoon, we want to recognize new members, and we have our membership committee chair, National Membership Committee Chair, Elena Hercule, to recognize our new members. Elena? Okay, if you could go ahead, Dwight, and share that slide for the new member. Thank you. Recognition. So we want to recognize our new small business member, Joanne Brewer, from the New Jersey area of MAC or MAC, I'm not sure, Group Solution Services LLC. Welcome to the NABWIC family. So this brings us to the end of our $1 billion luncheon in educational facilities contracting opportunities. I hope that the information that was shared here today by all of our presenters was useful for you and that you will be able to use this information in the future to help you get new contracts. We do have a couple of announcements to make before we close out. One is we want you to save the date for our next NABWIC luncheon, which will be next month. Can I get that slide, please? Because I don't know the date out my head. Thank you. So our next $1 billion luncheon in aviation contracting opportunities will be next month, May 8th, 2024. Same time, same place. So mark it on your calendars. So mark it on your calendar so that we can go ahead, so that you can go ahead and register on our Eventbrite page. If you go ahead and check out the Eventbrite page, you can register for the May luncheon, $1 billion luncheon in aviation contracting opportunities. We also have coming up in September, we have our Oh wait, we have our healthcare luncheon. Sorry, our June luncheon will be in healthcare contracting opportunities. So that's June 12th, 2024 is our healthcare contracting opportunities $1 billion luncheon. So we have May 8th will be aviation contracting opportunities. June 12th will be healthcare contracting opportunities. And then in September 11th, in Washington, D.C. at the City Club in Washington, D.C., we will have our reception for the Congressional Black Caucus. Our sponsors will be Hatch, WSP, and Jacobs. So you want to save the date for that as well. We will be in Washington, D.C. at the City Club on September 11th for our Congressional Black Caucus reception. Do you have any other announcements? I thought it was one more.
Membership.
Thank you. We also have the NBDA Capital Readiness Program. The NBDA Capital Readiness Program is operated by M. Gill and Associates and provides at no cost technical assistance services to prepare and propel socially and economically disadvantaged individuals toward financial opportunities and business success. Services are available to start up and established businesses in Florida, the U.S. territories, and to the businesses that reach out to us from any other U.S. state. So this is the information here. You can also just screenshot that, or if we could drop that flyer in the chat so that people can save the information. So if you're interested in the NBDA Capital Readiness Program, you can find out more information about that. And of course, we could not end our luncheon without opening up for membership. So if you are interested in becoming a member of the National Association of Black Women in Construction, can you just drop in the chat? You're ready to be a member today. Say today. Put today in the chat and we will put you in the breakout room. If you want more information on the National Association of Black Women in Construction, put more info in the chat and we'll put you in a separate breakout room. So if you want to join NABWIC today, put today in the chat and we'll get you signed up. If you want more information on becoming a member of the National Association of Black Women in Construction, put more information and we'll put you in a breakout room and give you more information. So hopefully we'll have a lot of people join our NABWIC family today. It was a pleasure to be your host for this afternoon, sharing with you opportunities in educational facilities. And so we're looking forward to seeing you again next month on May 8th for contracting opportunities in aviation. So until then, take care and have a good day.
All right, so the breakout rooms are open. Miss
So we're
Anna,
going to
I'm gonna
go
put
over
you
to the breakout with all of you who are interested in joining today. Just want to make sure that we keep saying that as the producer is moving everybody over to the breakout. Thank you.
All right, Miss Anna, I'm going to put you in the breakout room with the folks who want more info. All right, Miss Anna, I'm going to put you in the breakout room with the folks who want more info.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Kind of hard to hear.
I'm going to put you in the room with the folks who want a little more info.
All right, thank you. And if we can have music as people are leaving, the meeting is over. So I know we have a lot of people still here. Just want to make sure that they understand that the luncheon is over. We do also have a transit luncheon in August, which will be one of our largest. And then in November, we do have a water luncheon. So just want to make sure everybody understands that we do host this $1 billion luncheon every month, except for July and December. And so please register. We'll send all of you the information. But if you're interested, we want to just make sure that you know that we're the voice of this industry. So we want to thank you, Kendi, also for a phenomenal job. And if we can give her some love in the chat. But for those of you that's interested, I'm going to go over to the breakout and we'll see those of you in the breakout who's interested. Thank you.
We have some folks in the chat. They're saying they're not in the breakout room. They want to go into the membership breakout room. Is this the membership breakout room?
All right, folks, if you would like to be put into either one of the rooms to get more info or to get registered, just indicate that in the chat and I will put you in the correct room. Hi, Miss Anne. We have Peggy in the room with the people who are ready to go. I don't know if there's anyone else I should put in that room.
Peggy, who?
Peggy West.
No, she can, is it, no, you can, there's nobody today. There's nobody in the room today, for today, right?
Well, yeah, there's 3 people in the room for today.
Okay, I'll go over there because we have them switched. Elena should be in the room today and we should be in the room that Elena's in, potential. So Elena needs to move. I'll join that, and if you can communicate with Elena, she had a hard time unmuting.
Okay,
I'm gonna go there now.
Okay, got you. Miss Elena's just wrapping up her thought. Oh, she's gone. Okay.
Oh. Okay, so now, Audrey, are you a co-host?
I'm not. I was, but I'm not anymore.
Yeah, because see,
Never
you
had to-
yourself, you could move yourself over to where,
Elena is.
yes.
I'm not a co-host.
And Dwight, can you
Yeah,
move
just made
over
you.
where Elena is? Okay, you can move yourself. You know how to do that, right, Audrey? Click. No, let me show you. This is how you learn. So you go to bottom left. I mean, go right on. It will be right on your side. Go to your bottom right on your screen. You see the three dots?
It says more.
Click the dots.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay.
Click breakouts, and then you're gonna go to the one where Elena is, which it says ready to go. Click that one. Okay.
Ready to go. Going.
Thank you.
Thank
Hi,
you.
good afternoon, ladies. I'm so sorry. I was in the middle of something. I'm gonna have to leave, but it was definitely a pleasure speaking with you. I was not able to introduce myself
Oh, okay.
because I had to take up another call.
No
But I'll be
problem.
sure to connect.
What's your name?
This is Jetway Heating and Cooling. My name is Sylvia.
Sylvia, you put your information in the chat?
I did some time ago.
Okay, no problem. So we'll follow up with you about membership. Just put membership and your name and we'll catch up with you. Okay, dear?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for staying on. All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, Audrey, see you at the ready to go.
I'm signing off, Ann, unless you need me.
No, thank you so much, Deborah. Appreciate you, hon. Thanks.